Hi, welcome to Frontrunner. Today we are honored to have an old friend, Halona Farden, with us as truly a role model. I am not sure that Halona thinks of himself in that way, but I'll tell you, Halona, to me and to many others that I know, you are definitely one of the most positive and loving and giving people that we have met. You're a role model for us. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You've been up since 4 in the morning. You've taken, was it handy van into town?
Yes, handy van.
And you've got a beautiful home, and where do you live?
In Kapolei. We've been out there for about 8 years. And it's great. It's really great out there. You know, it being a new, well, they're looking at it as a second city, so it's all new out there, and cut curbs, easy access to the shopping centers and everything. So it's wonderful. It's just kind of far from Honolulu. That's the only thing, transportation-wise.
But you made a schedule on handy van, and they were there as scheduled, and
pretty much.
transportation system worked?
Pretty much, and they have a couple other people that they usually pick up or drop off in between, depending on where you're going to go. And since I was the furthest away from my place, I was the last to be dropped off. But it worked okay.
So how long did it take you to get in today?
It took us about, maybe an hour. We had a couple other people that we had to drop off and pick up in various places. So it wasn't too bad.
Well, Halona, you and I have been writing stories of your life, and we're determined to do something with those stories. I'm thinking even people who are watching now who might be mindful of who you are might like to read some of those stories, and we'll try to, at least on our website, make a reference to where you might see them. Could I ask you, would you just briefly tell our viewers, where did you grow up, and when did you have your accident?
Basically, I was born here in Honolulu and grew up most of my younger life in Kapahulu area. And at about age 16, I went to go visit my brother in Maui, and I was riding a 10-speed bike, and I was on my way home to pick up the car, and I passed by one of the golf courses in Maui, Kaanapali. And I saw some rolling hills, so I decided to go down those hills, and on the second slope of the hill, there was a sand trap that I wasn't really prepared to see, or it kind of caught me off guard. And so I hit the sand trap, flew over my handlebars, and suffered a spinal cord injury, which left me paralyzed. And that was the summer before my senior year.
And you were a student at Kamehameha School.
Yes.
You got in to your great joy, and then it was near the end of your junior year
Yes.
that you had the accident.
Uh-huh.
You know, yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
you said that some of the friends from Kamehameha have been very, very stable people throughout your life, even through and after your accident.
Yes, I was fortunate to get into Kamehameha schools as a sophomore, which is really unique.
Oh, wow.
Usually, mostly, if you don't make it by a freshman, you don't usually have many seats open. But I was able to get, from my sophomore and junior year, I got to know a lot of good friends and everything. And they pretty much got me through my senior year, coming to the hospital, visiting me a lot. And we also had every year they have homecoming. And so as a senior, you can be chosen by the whole school or from the whole high school that who they pick for homecoming king. And they chose me. And when I heard the news, a couple of my friends came down and told me about it. And at first I didn't want to become the homecoming king, and I turned it down because I thought it was due to just maybe sympathy, and they were kind of bummed to see me that way. Maybe that would lift my spirits and stuff. And so that was during the weekday. And that weekend, Saturday, a bunch of the football players came down, and they told me basically that that was not the case at all, and kind of threatened me and told me to, kind of get it together. And they were really proud to see me be able to I guess, deal with the situation. And they were also really supportive throughout, like I said, throughout my whole rehab and even up to this day.
Were you a football player, Halona?
No, I actually was more into water sports. I surfed a lot. I played water polo for a while, and then I got into paddling.
See, I think it's really neat that friends would stick with.
Yeah. me
Lots
too.
of times, I think when we experience injury or disability, we may remove ourselves from society. And in your case, I think of you as a man who's been very aware of the importance of friends and family.
Yeah, they have been with me even to this day. We get together, and those are probably, in fact, they're the closest of my friends. Is back in high school, and we're still together. And the other thing is, my family was the other support. They started from day one, and I guess the way that I was raised, being in the Hawaiian Islands, and family was always there to help each other during good times as well as bad times. And this was definitely a pretty traumatic time for me as well as my family, and we all stuck together and made it through, and we still do it to this day.
Halona, you said that power mobility was a real eye-opener for you and a world opener for you. How far past your injury was it that you got a power wheelchair, and how did that happen?
I'd say it was probably a couple of years after I got hurt. I had the opportunity to go to Craig Institute, which is located in Colorado. And
That's a rehab institute?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's one of the more well-known in the nation. And they deal basically with spinal cord injured individuals or brain injuries. And that's their basic scope or their expertise. And my whole attitude behind working out and getting strong and keep my strength was pushing and doing exercises. And so I was in a manual chair, and I thought that was the way to go. But it limited me to where I wanted to go. I could only stay in certain areas, flat ground. I couldn't go out. Well, anyhow, when I went to Craig Institute, they introduced me to one of their newer electric power chairs, and they asked me to take a chance and get in it and go down to one of their big Cinderella malls. It's one of the biggest malls, or it used to be at least. And after I got into it and I found out how much more mobility I had as far as independence and just being able to get around myself and not having to worry about somebody pushing me, it just opened up my whole world even more. So I was convinced and jumped onto the power chair and came home with it, and I was able to go anywhere that I really wanted to go. And the power chairs are getting even better and better and a lot more durable and more efficient, I guess.
So how many chairs have you gone through?
This is probably my fourth chair that I've
Halona will
gone through.
drive miles in his chair.
Yeah.
You guys, when I first met you, you and Michael Cho, weren't you guys out driving, just cruising, and you use your
Yeah.
chairs for everything. They're your feet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do. You know, I mean, some people use mobility, wheelchairs for to get around the house, which is fine. Some, they'll get transportation to the stores and the markets, and that'll get them around. Others will use it from, like, my house. I'll truck it to the shopping center, which is about 1.5 miles away. Or if I'm in town, Honolulu, I'll be cruising from one end of Honolulu to the other end in a wheelchair.
That's great.
So it's great. It's really good. The other thing I want to also add as far as mobility was the bus system and handyvan. Those are the other two things that have come on board within the past 10 to 20 years. And at least it has given us another avenue to get around in
How
Honolulu.
easy is it to get on the bus in your chair?
For me, it's not too bad because my chair is, a little bit narrower and stuff. For those that have wider chairs, it's pretty difficult. So depending on the size of your chair, kind of depends on how to get on. But other than that, it's not too bad.
I'm watching the time, and I love low tech to high tech. I want to switch to computers for just a second. You use voice to access your computer, but you also use a splint which is about the lowest tech. Could you just show us for a minute the splint that you use?
It's just basically this device. Since I cannot hold my wrist up, it's just basically a metal device that keeps my wrist from flopping down, and I just wrap it around my hand like this, and it keeps my wrist from going down. But it also, there's a little pocket right here. I don't know if you can see that. And I can put my toothbrush. I can put a writing device so I can sign my name. And then I also use this to type. It's a basic small dowel that I put in the pocket. And then I just
to hold it in?
actually there's these rubber things that people use to write to stop them
Grips.
from
Pencil grips.
We
yeah.
were showing
Yeah.
you one.
And I just just stick it in. This is from this rubber thing is from one of the leg bags, and it just helps me to type on the keyboard. So I use the trackball, the keyboard, as well as the voice-activated Dragon Naturally Speaking to get around the computer and do whatever I need to do. So that's a great instrument. And it's like you said, it was very low tech. This was the first thing that I got at rehab.
We call that a universal cuff. and
Yeah,
they're really,
exactly.
really useful.
They called it back then a cock-up splint.
Oh,
But
well, the
yeah.
cock-up splint is this splint, and the cuff part with this pocket is a universal cuff.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, this is just really simple to make.
You know, I think we're getting a call here, Catherine.
We are. It's time for us to move on. Halona,
was
thank
quick.
you very
Yeah.
much for being with
Thanks,
us.
buddy.
All right, thank
We
you very
really
much for
enjoyed
inviting
having
me.
you.
I really appreciated it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we'll just catch you later, friend.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you folks take care too.